What is going on, everybody? Hope you're having a great week, day, year, whatever's going on. So today we're going to be talking about sort of the purge that has been going on with the Amazon listings, a little bit within the catalog, related to products where Amazon are deleting product pages. Now, historically, this has always happened, periodically, where they've gone and actually deleted sort of duplicate listings or incorrect listings. And this isn't anything new. The only kind of issue is that usually you'll get something like this, at risk. So if you just go into inventory, basically if you go into here, there's an option at the top, which is basically something similar to fix your products. Click that, you'll get all these sort of different options. Two things you have to look at is the detail page removed and also the at risk here. So you can see the at risk. Looking here, these are all products that will be removed within specific dates. So obviously with this you can manage it, right? It's easy. You can go, okay, fair enough, I have, usually it's about a month to go ahead and sell out or do whatever you want to do, recall some of that stock, send it in under other listings, whatever you're going to do. Obviously probably try to sell out, but the only issue with that is that because everyone else is going to have the same issue, that the price might drop because people are trying to sell out, depending on how much stock they have. So just look at the stock levels, figure out, is there anyone with a shit ton of stock? Are they going to be probably trying to drop the price to sell out? Okay, so obviously you can see here on this Weetabix, I had to drop the price to basically a little bit of a loss because I had a lot of these, and so therefore I had to get rid of them before a specific date, obviously within a month, but still, obviously I needed to make sure I sold out. I did recall some. But yeah, so obviously that's depending on how many you've got, obviously going to depend. So that's not so much of an issue because you have time to act. What they have been doing recently over the last couple of weeks, and it's not, if it was just a one-off, I wouldn't necessarily do a video on it, but it's been over the last 3 or 4 weeks, every week, I've been getting something like this. I log in, I'll go under, so it will appear under stranded inventory. I'll click on, and it will basically have a bunch of ASINs like this, obviously where the product page details have been removed, or the detail page removed, and it will come under the policy warning of restricted products. Okay, now obviously the product it doesn't exist, right? If you click onto it, it doesn't exist, right? But that's happening instantly, so I'm having no warning, which is annoying because obviously it's hard to know what's going on. But you can see here, just off the top of your head, right? Heinz. This is a Kenko, but fair enough. You can see there's a trend. It's not random products. You can see what they did as of the other day. They went through and purged Heinz, right? And the week before, it was McVitie's. And there was also some Heinz on there. So it's not like literally everything related to that brand instantly. But you can see there's a common trend here with specific brands where they're purging. Usually I would say that's because there is many listings that are duplicates, and if you go on to say, I went on to this Heinz Oxtail, you can still see there is a product which is the same product, Heinz Oxtail, right? So, you just sort of browse like the products and just go, okay, well, how many listings is there? Like there could be 6, and you'd be like, well, that's not great because there's 6 listings. And you have no idea really which ones Amazon are going to remove, not really, unless there is a perfect listing on there. Usually there won't be. For example, Heinz don't sell their products on Amazon as of now, so it's not going to be matching correctly with the GS1 barcode. That's pretty much the issues that are going on. So what's happening is that in these listings, obviously I can't go on to this now, you can see here the GTIN codes relating to GS1 are not matching. So we recommend you obtaining GTINs directly from GS1. But what the problem is, you can't go and if you haven't created this listing, you can't go and update it. So most people haven't created. These are old listings, right? Standard arbitrage. You cannot edit these, so you cannot do anything. Ultimately, the owner of the listing can sort this out, but they might not be even selling this product anymore. So if they're even aware that there's an issue, who knows? And also, you're not able to go and verify that this product is against Heinz because you can't go and actually submit and get a GS1 barcode based off the brand Heinz because you are not Heinz, right? So what do we do? What's the issues here? What can we do to try to fix this? Well, obviously, what you could do is you could look at a clear trend related to Heinz, yeah, and you could try to work out what's going on. Or you could be potentially going, okay, can I send this in under a different 6-pack of this product? So I was just doing a little bit of, checking. Obviously, I found this, exactly the same product. I click on it, right? You can see this one is registered under the Bramley Bay, the brand. So the others were under Heinz. These ones were under Heinz, and the way you can see that is because under here it will say something like, let's have a look. Is this the same item? Yeah, it will say basically view brand or brand. You can, it'll be like this, but slightly different with Heinz. But obviously the details are not matching. So what I'm going to do here is just analyze. Basically, we're going to do what we need to do to figure out this listing itself is okay. So could Amazon purge this listing? As an example, let's have a look. Under the Bramley Bay, fine. For now, but we're working it out. You can come down here, do a little analyze thing here on BuyBotPro. You can see here the EAN code. Okay, well, ultimately it's under the Bramley Bay, but this is clearly not, the Bramley Bay. Bramley Bay is a seller on Amazon. This is not the Bramley Bay, it's Heinz. Okay, you can see here the EAN code. So we're going to copy that, and we're going to jump into GS1 GTIN search. Basically, you can see here. Click this, and we're going to go ahead and search this. So let's go ahead and have a look. So that's what it's registered under. Let's look for the ownership. Come down, and you can see here it's under Good Karma Worldwide Limited. Now, again, you can type this into like Google and see what it comes up with. But actually, the easiest way is to see, okay, so who the hell is this? What you want to work out. Is this Heinz? If this is Heinz, then that's actually a good thing. But most of the time, arbitrage products on Amazon are not going to be created by the original brand because they don't sell on Amazon. So, Good Karma Worldwide Limited. Okay, so we jump back to this. So we want to figure out who the Bramley Bay is. The easiest way to do it is you could, in theory, come in and see if they're on the listing. But the quickest way to do it is go to all, go to the creator. Obviously, when there was one, go to the beginning of the existence of this listing. Click the little boom thing, that little triangle. Pet EU Co. is actually the Bramley Bay. How do you know this? Well, go on to Amazon. Go onto this page. Come down. Here we go. Good Karma Worldwide Limited. So, this is actually the business name. Obviously, they have Pet EU Co. and the Bramley Bay is just a brand they set up because they wanted to set up something called the Bramley Bay. I don't know why, but they did. Okay, so we can see that it is not Heinz who is under this GS1. It is Pet EU Co. Okay, here. Matches, right? So that means that this ultimately, at some point, could be deleted. So why? What Amazon, what is wrong with this? What is Amazon doing? Well, they're coming in. They're looking at this EAN code, which is basically like this, like all barcodes in the world have those numbers and they correspond to a database to verify that those products are what they are. Okay, just like their own unique identifier, just like Amazon SKUs and stuff like that. But obviously, this is like a global thing rather than like a local, well, sort of semi-local thing. Amazon are coming in and they're seeing this EAN code is not actually Heinz because it is under the Bramley Bay, but they are clearly seeing it's a Heinz product, right? And now, the thing that I'm still kind of learning, working out is, for example, this manufacturer is under the Bramley Bay. It is not under Heinz. So will Amazon, I'm not an expert in this. There's many people that are probably able to give me a little bit more information on this, but I'm just doing observations. This is my observation. Is that Amazon will come on and go, okay, it's under the Bramley Bay. Who is the manufacturer? The manufacturer is the Bramley Bay. Therefore, are they picking up on the branding? So they're basically like doing like a bot checks to scan the product. Obviously, you can see here Heinz in the title, right? Heinz on the pictures. Is there any? You got Heinz here. Like it's just doing checks basically, and it's clear. It could be going right. It's saying it's a Heinz product. It's in the title. It's here. It's in our database. Heinz. Is this Heinz? No, it's not Heinz because we just did the check. We did the search on the GS1 database. Or they're going to go, it's the Bramley Bay. Who is the manufacturer? It's the Bramley Bay. It checks out. I doubt that's true, because that means anyone can just get around it. And clearly it's Heinz, because Heinz has been populated. You know, it's the first word in this. And if you've ever created your own unique bundle in any sense, even if like it's a really simple generic, if you put in a brand at the beginning like this, and it doesn't allow it for trademark misuse, Amazon flag pretty much instantly that you cannot use that word. So I know that Twinings you cannot use. So if this was a Twinings tee, and you put Twinings and then whatever the actual thing is, created a listing, even under say generic, Amazon will flag that as trademark misuse, because I've had that before on Twinings, and it will basically be suppressed. You can't do that. So what you have to do is you have to go in and remove the word Heinz. Obviously on this current listing, it's still here. So Amazon will come on. They would already know it's under Heinz, because just like I had Twinings, they clearly can tell that that is the brand, and that's why it was trademark misuse, because it's not allowed. So they're going to have some sort of link to their own database based off words, and they're going to basically work out it's not the Bramley Bay, and therefore they're going to still search the EAM, but they're going to find out that that's to the Bramley Bay and it's not to this. So this is a potential listing that could be taken down. Is ultimately what I'm saying. Could it, and when will it be? Who knows? Amazon are doing really unusual things all the time, and it's really hard to kind of predict what will happen from week to week. All you can do is you can basically add in potentially preventative measures. If this was an amazing product and it could sell 500 a month, would you be buying 500 a month? Probably not, because of what I've said. Because of the risk, if this gets deleted, of you having 500 in stock or 450 or 400 is a bit too much. Could you have 30 of this? Sure. Because, that's hope. It will end up going to this, where you have a bit of a period of time to correct it. But if it goes instantly to deleted, you don't want to have 400 units of this product and have to recall it. Could you, the solution to this, create some sort of unique bundle based off this? Yeah, you could. I don't know. You could put a mug, you could put a branded mug in here, obviously because it's cup of soup, with a spoon, with some sort of branding. You could obviously be more creative than that. That was just a very, very simple example. But you could create something that is a unique bundle version of the same product, and yes, you could recall it and send it in under that. The problem is, obviously, there's just a lot more faff and issues going on with that. That is something you really have to be aware of. Now, the interesting thing is that everyone on the Facebook groups is talking about generic, saying, generics, near the end, you can't use it because Amazon are removing a lot of listings, blah, 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 blah. But all the listings that I've had removed, definitely the ones that have been instantly removed, are not generic. None of them. 0. All of these are actually under Heinz, or whatever the associate, so Kenko, for example, here. They're all under that. And the GTINs, like I've gone over with this, are not working. They're mismatched, yeah? This is coming under a different company than Heinz. That's why. But with a generic listing, the UPC and EAN do not exist. Now, not to say that Amazon will go, why is there no EAN? There has to be an EAN. Therefore, instantly, there's an issue, and the same outcome occurs, right? Because they want EAN codes. But as of now, I have seen 0 of my own generic and alternative, as in I've listed under generic for years. So I've got many generic listings in my inventory that aren't mine. But not only my ones that I've had for a while, but also the ones that are super old that are generic. I haven't had any of these removed. Now, is it worth potentially doing spot checks? So basically going through your inventory and basically adding in a column on, say, your purchase sheet, if it's a generic listing or not, or what the brand is. So you actually add a column with the brand being obviously this, or you could come in here and see it on here. Where is it? Yeah, here, brand. Yeah, and then you can keep track of what happens. So if you get next week anything deleted, you can come on and go, what brand was that? What was that brand under? Right? And then it will give you a bit of a heads up. If you start seeing generic getting removed, well, okay, now you can start planning based off of generic. But currently, I'm seeing the actual brands being removed. So I'm not actually seeing dodgy brands like this, for example. Now, you might think, well, how do you know that? Well, well, I don't know that necessarily for these, but I've been selling these products for a long time, so I kind of know which products are generic and which ones aren't. But you can go under these which have kind of similar issues, right? If we just go under these products, you can see this is under the Heinz store. Go under this Weetabix. This is under the Alpen store, interestingly enough. So that's probably not right. This one's under greens, you know, and if you want to obviously do a check on this, we're just going to do a little quick. We're going to do the same process just to look. But this is under, yeah, and what I do is I come in here. You can see here, this manufacturer is under Smart Pourer. Yeah, weird. That's not clear. You know, clearly that's not right. Come into here. It's under McVitie's, but what is it? What brand is it under? Brand. It is under McVitie's. Okay, so what you're trying to do is you're trying to build up this like internal database of understanding between what is going on. Here, it's under whatever that word is trying to say. It's gone to this one. So you see what I'm trying. So there's many that have a weird manufacturer, but then you can see there's also ones. I mean, some of them don't even have manufacturer on. Actually, if you look here, there isn't a manufacturer. It's got McVitie's again, but you can see McVitie's and it's in the McVitie's store. So if we go onto here, the reason it's getting deleted is because there's probably a dodgy EAN. So we're going to go onto the EAN here. We're going to paste that into here. We're going to search that bad boy. A GTN 13 cannot begin with a 0. I mean, like that. This is under Venture Outdoors LLC, some American company. Let's go and have a look. Was this the one I just took? 440. Oh, that's not even entered incorrect. It's not even entered correctly, surely. All right. Then what we're going to do is we're going to quickly go into the historical data. We're going to go and find who was the first company. It doesn't even mean this is correct, but I'm just trying to figure out, you know, connections. That's basically what I'm trying to do. Who is the owner of this? HV Sales Limited. Yeah, so I can't even see any connection to this. Venture Outdoors. You know, this is an American company with an LLC. It is Yorkshire Drive. Hang on, where was the... No. So, you know, that's a dead end because I can't, you know, you could search this. You could do more into it, search that, go into a bit more details. Maybe they have another business in America, for example. Like, it's not, you know, it's not impossible, right? But you can see there's issues with these. And I'm just sort of piecing it together. But most of these, you can see they're not, none of them are generic. They're just all basically where the data is mismatched. Not actually the product data in terms of the title and pictures and the you know, details and the, you know, any of this, but the actual GT EAN codes. Again, and I don't know if I've clicked everything here. I believe I have. Yeah, obviously these I can't go under, but I'm aware. I basically, if you look at these Heinz there, that one and that one, these are the 6-packs. Well, there's one here, which is also the 6-pack. Yeah, and this is just under Heinz. So these are all like similar products that have been around for a good while. Like, it's been around for ages, since 2017. But you can see there's issues with mismatching EANs because back then they wouldn't, you know, imagine 5 years, 6 years, it's been selling fine. So, you know, would you be even aware that that's a thing back here? No, not necessarily. Yeah, you could be super savvy and smart and go, you know what, I want to make sure everything matches, therefore I'm going to do everything, you know, properly, because in the event something happens in the future. But ultimately, with arbitrage products like this, where other people jump on anyway, it's not necessarily something you think of long term, because it might not be a long term product that you are looking to sell. You're looking to get in, create it, ride the wave. As it starts to, basically, the first time it crashes, you just chuck it away. You've been selling it, well, for some reason they've kind of really not had much sales around there, but yeah, you ride it all the way along here, and then as it gets down and down and down, you just sod it off, get rid of it, and start creating new listings. You know, because like there's going to be many listings that you probably get deleted, or things happen, or they crash, or whatever goes on with your new products, depending on what type of bundle it is. But obviously the goal is to create more than are becoming obsolete to you. So if you create 100 and 30 or 40 of them become obsolete because the price, other people jump on the listings, for example, and stuff like that, or whatever ends up happening, or they don't sell, or whatever goes on, and you basically just keep recycling. It's the same with arbitrage, right? You know, eventually you don't sell some arbitrage because it's not profitable, but you find 30 and you maybe don't sell 20, or you don't sell 15, and you keep doing that on an ongoing basis, and then a couple of years down the line you've got 500 active listings, and even then, obviously the same occurrence happens where you have to get rid of some, but also find new, or increase your sales on your current good product, so on and so forth. It's the same kind of process, right? It's just something that you really have to be aware of. But currently, I haven't really seen any. It doesn't mean there isn't, like, outside of the scope of my understanding, but I haven't seen any generic being removed right now. And what I'm thinking is obviously because there is no EAN and UPC, because it is under a GTIN exemption, meaning it is exempt from needing specific data points when you create the listing. It is under generic for a reason, because it says some sort of bundle. And when you actually go to, many of you will know this, but when you actually go to create the listing, it will say, what's the reason for this GTIN exemption? And you can click or select bundle. There is other options, but why is it exempt from GTIN codes? And you can select bundle. But obviously, you come onto here, this listing was removed, blah, blah, blah. This ASIN has GTIN codes that do not match the brand associated with the ASIN. Well, with generic, there is no GTIN code. So it does, either it doesn't match because there is no GTIN code, so therefore it doesn't match, or it wouldn't even come up with, doesn't mean that in the future things won't change, right? But I'm just going to give that point. But if you read it as it is types, this ASIN has GTIN codes that do not match. Specifically, it's not saying this ASIN has mismatching information relating to GTIN codes. It says the codes don't match, but if it hasn't got a code because it's exempt, because this is a bundle, then this won't apply. That is how I see it in terms of the written understanding of how it is explaining it on here. Okay, but we can obviously just double check that. GTIN codes are reliable data. It's used to limit duplicate products in the catalog to ensure authority. We verify the authenticity of GTIs by checking the GS1 database. Obviously, if it hasn't got one, then you can't check it. So that's just it doesn't mean that I'm right. This is just my thought process between how I see it and how they have written it to me. And the GTIN code that and GTINs that do not match information on GS1 are considered invalid. Well, in my mind, that's good because nothing is there to match. There is no code to match, so you can't even get to the point where you're trying to match it. So it therefore can't be invalid because you can't even get to the point of entering the information on GS1. That's how I'm just taking it literally. I'm literally, this is me deciphering their thing. We recommend obtaining GTIN directly from GS1, fair enough, not from other third-party sellers or websites, whatever, to ensure the approval information is rectified GS1. If you believe it's that's all pointless. So you kind of get what I'm trying to say here. It doesn't mean that generic won't be just because it's not. It's very clear that you can abuse generic. So if they just left it open-ended, you can abuse it forever, because you can basically say, well, I never need it. I never need GS1. I can just create whatever I want. It doesn't matter. Well, yeah, I mean, it has been like that a little bit since generic came around, but like with Amazon, if anything happens too much, they're usually on top of it, because otherwise you could just create 1,000 different generic GTIN exemptions for the same product, and what's going to happen? There's 10 products all with the same products. There's 10 listings, with all the same products. Not going to really work. Amazon's going to clearly know that and be like, right, we have to clear up this, and they're therefore going to say probably either all future ones are not applicable, or they're going to have to say you have to add or update listings now to include specific pieces of information. But the thing is that I'm thinking is that because you're selecting it under generic and clicking, and as you create the listing GTIN exemption, you can't there go for that. You therefore can't go in. Maybe you can. Maybe we can try it. We're going to try it. Can you go in and obviously a lot of this is going to be blurred out, but can you go in and update it, basically untick it to say it's a GTIN exemption? Because that's the only way to update a listing, right? I don't know which ones I need to go on. Which ones, let's go back to the beginning. Some earlier versions. Let's just go on to this. It's just a crappy listing. I created back in the day, some of my start ones. So yeah, there is no option. I've gone into the edit here. I'm just looking more information. You can change. I know you can change, because the thing is, if you can't change a generic into a non-generic or whatever the hell it is, yeah. So the product ID ASIN and that, there is no option unless it's someone can like inform me that there is, to go and actually update and change that listing to have a GTIN code if you've already selected it to not be. So therefore, the only way I can imagine is all the generics get deleted if they wanted to sort out generics in the long term. So, you know, I'm gonna leave the video there. Obviously, I don't want to ramble on too much, but you kind of get my thought process behind what I'm trying to say, hopefully. Not to say that there aren't generics getting removed. I have no, you know, I only know what I can see and what I can read, and no one specifically has said generic has been getting removed. I've seen a couple of things mentioning generic, but not directly 100% linked, like one-to-one related to the same thing I just mentioned. Obviously, the idea is realistically you need to move away from generic, because it's probably going to be an issue, and move on to creating higher level bundles, very similar to say generic, but with some slightly unique products, meaning it's actually can be listed under your own brand, and then obviously obtaining correct data, GTIN codes, and also obviously listing the product to make it applicable to everyone and aware to everyone, to make everyone aware that it is not actually Heinz, it is a bundle of different products related to Heinz under your brand. You are the manufacturer. That's kind of the process that we're trying to grow to make sure that we're above board with like everything. Otherwise, you could just wake up one day and everything's gone. Depending on, you know what Amazon's like. No, it's just boom, something happens. So I'll leave the video there. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.